Oh my God. Well, it is midweek. It is midday. And that means you're right here with Rob and Sara. Remember, we're paranormal besties.
What?
Do you remember? I used to say that all the time.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. we're both like, look at us. We're like Rob's and I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
Uh,
I'm in comfy sweats and just trying to get caught up and everything.
trying to get caught up. I'm trying to
Mhm.
recover
Yeah.
from injury and breathe. Be able to breathe. Breathing
Yeah.
is good,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is. It's important, actually. You should try to breathe throughout the day.
you got to try to breathe at least a few times. And then
Yeah.
laughing hurts.
Hmm.
And everybody apparently today decided they want to be funny.
This is
So
their funny day. They're like,
it's
Wednesday,
funny.
it's funny day.
It's funny Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for those that don't know,
Hmm.
I decided to throw myself onto a curb and land on it. Like if this is my rib, that's how I landed. T-bone myself, and it's probably something similar to what my ribs are looking like right now.
Delicious and barbecued.
Yeah, they look delicious, right? So that's by the way, I stole that photo from a YouTube channel, Smoking and Grilling with AB.
Oh my God, that looks
It's
delicious.
so good, right? So that's why. So Danny, like, if you want to cancel pizza, like ribs, I saw Drunken Donuts
I
comment.
know, and I want to. We'll get to that. Let's say
Yeah,
let's say hello to everybody real
say
quick
hello.
before we get started because
Are
we
you
do have
doing?
some stuff. I'm
Are you
doing it. I'm Wednesday producer. You
all
suck.
right, bro? I just
You
don't want to
forget
mess
your
up.
producer half the time. Anyway, so there he is, Professor T, Stacy Talledge in the house first, as always, right there. We have the amazing Danny Marie, Divination with Danny, and Get Social. Every other Sunday, you can check her out, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to throw her some love. She's taking a little time off. If you guys saw, she's taking a little break from some tarot divination, but she'll be back at it because everybody loves to get her tarot readings for the day. We love that. We love that. There he is, Mark Brown, coming in from the South. Hey, Mark. Don't know if you know. Have you checked out anything on the Holiday House? HOLLAIDA, Holiday House. I believe that's South
What?
Carolina. Hmm?
Is that how you spell it?
It is how you spell it. Absolutely.
Are you sure?
HOLLIDAY, Holiday House. Two
That is so
L's.
not what you just.
What did I say?
Come on.
Was I super confident in misspelling it?
Yeah.
How did I spell it?
HOLLADAYIA or some shit like that.
Okay, first of all, I know there wasn't all that extra in there, but it is HOLLIDAY, Holiday House. Maybe. Is that not what I said, Russ? Okay, you know what, Russ? You're fired. Shut your mouth. Anyways, you know what? It's the Holiday House, 2 L's. Go check it out, Mark Brown. I was trying to pass on information. Give it a look. It is a really interesting, not just the house itself, which has a load of information. It was at one point a funeral home, but the property itself has some amazing history on it. So I don't know if that's close by you, Mark Brown, but you might want to give it a check out. Give it a check out.
Close enough. I mean,
You know
Mark,
what?
you got to travel, dude.
Yeah, these aren't going to all be in your backyard. There he is, Stephen Kometz. I so actually rewatched something that Stephen Kometz, you need to hire your voice out to read. Like, you've got this Sam Elliott sort of, who's another one that sort of has this, way of speaking. And when he puts that emotion behind it, he draws you in. And in fact, as I'm speaking, I'm going to actually reach out to you. I think we need your help. We need your assistance on something. I think we should use him. So get ready for that. And how the heck are you, Stephen? We hope you're well. Hey, Drunken, how the hell are you? We hope you're doing fine. Scary stuff. I am going to add, I do have something that I want to add that is some scary stuff, but we have some business to take care of. All good stuff coming up. Big Daddy Andy in the house, Mr. Andrew. How are you doing? We hope you're doing pretty darn good. Icy, beautiful. How are you? I hope everything is working out. Everybody continue to send that good energy her way. Everybody use good energy. It helps. It helps. Look at Adam B's in the house. Give that little baby some big kisses from Auntie Sarah. We hope he's doing just well.
Yeah.
He was doing parkour. That's called talking and walking at the same time. He has a hard time with that.
I hit a patch of ice. Okay.
Mhm.
That's it. Remind me to tell Big Daddy Andy about Friday night in Gettysburg. We got to talk about that. It has to happen today if you're coming
Yeah,
down on Friday.
yeah. We absolutely, absolutely. Russ Stiver, Compass of Curiosity, also the picker honor, apparently. Russ, stop picking on me.
Oh,
How are
yeah.
you doing today?
Mm.
Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Ryan, how the heck are you? Hiya to you. He's still recovering. Did you guys read his posts? Hangovers just hit different in your 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Stop drinking Miller. That might help.
Yeah, man. Class it up a little, bro. No, that's your big time.
There you go. There's your spirit animal right there.
Oh, okay. That's very cartoonish.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ken. I'm getting better. Every day is a little better. Just getting up, down, in and out of bed. All that shit hurts. Laughing, breathing.
Yeah. Hi, Kent. We hope you're doing just fine today. He's sober now, folks. He's sober now. Lasted 2 days. Go Birds. So hello to all of you. For those that didn't identify yourself, hello to you and welcome to Midday right here with us midweek. We have some things, but before we get started, I want to just kind of do something quickly and serious. There's a post that went out. If you see it, please do me a huge solid. Please share this post out. It's important. We're looking for your voices. There's important causes out there, and some of these paracons are put on solely to support causes that are important to them. And there is just one like that called Firelands. That's April 12th in Sandusky, Ohio. That is put on by Jen Jacobs. She is Eclipse Paranormal, Erie Events, Women of the Paranormal Celebration. This Paracon does have some notable names attached to it. Actually, Mr. Ryan will be there with Nick of Paranormal Theory. Okay. Also, Larissa Rex of Third Eye Event. I believe Santiago Cirillo. Did I say his last name correctly? Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
You froze in the beginning. That's why I was like,
oh, okay. Yeah. So here's the deal, folks. This particular Paracon, this raises funds and money that goes directly to the Safe Harbor Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Shelter and the Care and Share of Erie County. These are very, very important causes. What I will say is this: what we're doing a call out for right now is your voice. We need to have your voice. Are you a survivor? Maybe you're somebody that was witness to. Perhaps you are just somebody that this is a cause that is near and dear to your heart for your own personal reasons. We need your voice. About 10 seconds, 20 seconds, we would like to do a snippet, and we are going to put something together for the Firelands Paracon to get the word out there. Paracons, some are popular, some aren't, some get pushed, some don't. But what I do know is when the community steps up to these important causes, big things happen. We saw it with Haunts for the Homeless, and I think we can see it again for the Firelands Paracon. So if you would like to be a part of this, Ryan, I already said you have to be because you're on the banner. If you'd like to be a part of this, please DM Jen Jacobs. That's JENN, 2 N's. Jacobs, Erie Events or Eclipse Paranormal, please reach out to her and let her know that you would like to be a part of this video. That's all I'm going to say right now. But if you do see that post on Get Haunted, Paranormally Blonde, and or the network, please share it. If you can't be a part of it, please share it. That's huge, 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 huge. All right, on to some business before we have some scary talk, because that's why Drunken's here. Do zombies exist in the paranormal? I don't know. Okay.
Not for me. I mean, Stacy talked about them in Haiti. For me, the closest zombie experience I have were the zombie spiders down in the basement of the Shanley Hotel. And if you don't know I actually made a post on it the other day. But these spiders get a fungus, and that eventually kills them, and they turn into like these pure white,
Ugh.
hairy-looking spiders. And yeah, they freak me out. But
I already dislike spiders. Now I
I
really
know I
dislike
hated them
spiders.
to begin with, but when they turn into zombie spiders, it
Yeah.
gets even scarier.
Even scarier. Even scarier. Yeah, so we have a lot. Hey, Mike Cronin. There he is, two brothers. Michael Sticks Cronin in the house, two brothers extreme. And guys, on the side, if you have events coming up, if you are heading an event up, if you are an organizer, if you have a Paracon that you're going to and you want to share it, we highly, highly encourage that you put that information on the side so everybody in the community can see. That's what it's all about. This is not just a Get Haunted thing. The Get Haunted is a connector piece to the community to make sure you all know your opportunities that are waiting. What do we want to start with first, Rob?
You tell me, boss.
And I'm a little bossy today.
You want to start with
Yes, let's start here because this one's so fun. So fun.
this one?
Yeah. That one.
All right.
Look at that.
So we kind of teased it a couple weeks ago. We had to get some final pieces put into place, but we finally landed on the date. We finally landed on making sure we could pull it off the way we had hoped to. So if you don't know or you are not aware of what the Convent Tattoo Shop is, Paranormal Theory did a video on them recently. Sorry, I lose my breath because I don't get to take.
Because your rib is poking into your lung, probably.
Don't say that, please. So we had to get a lot of loose ends tied up and pieces put into place. Here's how this is going to go. Get inked, flash event. We worked it out with all the tattoo artists. They are currently in the process of putting together the flash sheet, right? So if you're itching for some new ink, from 3 to 5, they'll be able to take X amount of people that pre-book their tattoo. Mm-hmm. So you can go down, you can get inked just before we bust into an investigation of the Convent Tattoo parlor and body piercing parlor, right? So which is loaded with, sadly, crazy ass haunted dolls and things and artifacts, and there's skeletons. There's so much stuff in this place. But go check out Paranormal Theory's video on the Convent if you want to see some of it. Sarah and I took a call with Sophia, and I think we had something you could talk about that. Mm-hmm. Andy, I'm sure they could for you. I can run that past Sophia later. As long as it's, simple, which yours is fairly simple for a tattoo. Plus, we wanted to add this because, Sarah, you can talk about theories that you brought up with me, but go ahead. Why don't you talk about what happened on that Zoom call?
Well, we did. We did sort of touch on this a little bit, but during that Zoom call, she does have many, many haunted items within that location. And every day, she said every single day she receives more, to the point that she hasn't even opened all of the boxes yet, because so many come through from people who say things like, I just think my spirit wants to live with you, or I just don't want it with me. I mean, there are different reasons why people send these items. So they are throughout the shop and I believe the building, to my knowledge. Okay. But there was a new item, Ryan. We did touch on this. Ryan also confirmed it. I believe Stephen was the name of that new item. He was sitting behind Sophia. She had mentioned that they were just teaching how to communicate. Hey, Candy, teaching how to communicate with this new item that was brought to them. And it was sideways. I didn't know what it was. I guess it looked clownish. I wasn't quite sure what it was. But anyways, by the end of the call, and very interesting conversations, by the way, you're going to want to meet Sophia, and we are going to have her on Paranormally Blonde because she's so intriguing. That doll moved. that doll seemed to want to be a part of the conversation and seemed to move a little bit more forward, that we could see his entire face. So it was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jen, we just were reaching out and letting everybody know that we are looking for their voices to be able to uplift your Firelands Paracon. So there we go. So there's some interesting theories that we want to go into, and we're going to get into some of that. But this particular one, we're excited to get in there. We thought we all love tattoos. We all love them to some extent. So Rob just likes them a little bit. But to be able to go in there, meet the artist, hear their stories, because they all have their stories, and get a new piece of amazing art on your body inside this haunted location that, by the way, was not bought because it was haunted. It was just bought because she wanted to start her tattoo shop. So you're welcome, Jen Jacobs. You're welcome. We're gonna get that word out there. Hey Faye, we're gonna get that word out there for you, Jen. So this particular event, I think, is going to be such an interesting start to our journey in the convent, because there are theories out there that once you get inked, you are susceptible to the other side. And we're going to do a little theory building on that. And just so everybody knows, when we do this, we don't die on the hill for this. We just know these are theories that are out there. These are things that people believe, and we're here to explore them with you. So I'm really excited. Oh my God, it's going to be your first tattoo.
Right. And Big Daddy's pretty even keeled when it comes to experiences. So
pretty.
I would love to see if he has any bigger experiences. So yeah, we're gonna make that one happen, Andy.
Yeah. I love that it's his first tattoo.
Yeah, it's kick ass.
I love
it's
that.
It's in New Jersey, Jen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check out Paranormal Theories video on it. It was pretty interesting. We know Bill and Tanya have investigated there before, and they've had some experience. They claim to have some experiences. I know Mike Castro experienced something while he was down there to write his article for Ghosted magazine. So, and it's a place that sort of called to me this whole time, and then I was like, Now, y'all should also know they're very, very, they don't let everybody in there. So we're very honored and very lucky, to even have this opportunity. So I was like, how else can we help? And that's where we came up with the Get Inked, flash event, where we can go in, get there a little earlier, get inked up, get to know everybody, and then investigate. It's going to be kick ass.
Yeah, and I think what I'd love about this very situation is, folks, this right here is a perfect example as to sort of the circle of life, so to speak, of the paranormal community. The convent is not something that is open for public investigation. She is very particular about who she lets in there. Because that is her space. Those are her spirits that she is very protective of. She definitely has a relationship within those walls. So, for Rob to be like, I would really love to have there's something about this location. The call was agreed upon, and to be able to sit there with Sophia, Rob, and myself and talk to her and hear her story, and to understand who Sophia is and her relationship with those spirits. She draws you in. She is so interesting, and I love the way she speaks of it. She is not, didn't get the impression she was this big paranormal person. This is her life now, and there was some changes. So this falls, for those that know, this falls a little bit under our Seek with Your Soul conversation. When you meet Sophia, she is just so warm and just so intriguing. I can't say it enough. But I think to be able to create this event on the spot with her, and bringing her artist in, where it's helping everybody. Everybody, it's a win-win. This is not a money grab, folks. This is about getting the word out. This is about perfecting and it's not really perfecting. We can't really perfect, right? But building on our own talents and skills and concepts, and to do it in these new places and to
Yeah.
get the stories out. That's what it's all about. So very appreciative to the Convent Tattoo and Body Piercing Shop, and also to Sophia herself for opening up the way she did in the conversation. So I can't wait.
She's one of the coolest people.
She really is.
So we're going to have this event, and probably there's another more of a digging, a little further into yourselves kind of event that, in Sophia's words, right? Like beautiful disaster. That's a shot, one of Mike's shots from the convent, which we will talk about once we get a few more details on it. But that's going to be a little more deep.
That one is going to bring in a little bit more. I would say curious would be fine. If you were only curious and you hadn't had a lot of experience in exploring like this, it could still work for you. But this is definitely going to be about going in and really understanding what your relationship with the paranormal is. And we're going to do it all together. I'm going through like a voice change. Apparently puberty's hitting again. I don't know what the hell's going on there. So I'm excited to really lift this shop up. But even if you don't want to do the paranormal and you're super into getting inked, or you want to have your first tattoo and you're near or want to make a trip to New Jersey, please consider the convent. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So we'll get that address out for you so you guys know exactly where to locate that. What are we going to talk about next?
Do you want to talk about the one that's kind of queued up right now?
Oh my gosh. Yes, because...
Don't give me another clip to play with. Oh my gosh.
Shut your mouth. Let's talk about this, because this is going to get launched, and this is for everyone. This is
for everyone. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what country you're in. No. We've been hesitant to put it out there because it's a pretty goddamn cool idea, but we got to get it moving here. Yeah. And it's something Sarah and I have been kicking around for a long time now and trying to perfect. We brought some other people in to have a meeting. We need to have another one here, but it's time to talk about it. And you may have seen this little banner out there where it kind of hint at it. And, here's really what this was leading up to. And why this is important is because A, it's cool, and B, everybody can take part in it, right? You don't have to live on the East Coast or in the Northeast or it doesn't matter, right? But it's a hybrid. There's a physical aspect of this where this will be incorporated into some of our events at certain locations. And then there's the virtual aspect of it. I don't know how deep we're going to get into all the details, but this is really what we're calling this project. It's called Echoes of a Thought, right? And if some of you may be aware of the Philip experiment from the 70s, where parapsychologists or psychologists, college students got together and they attempted to manifest an entity. So what does that mean, right? It's effectively collective conscience, right? So here's what our plan is as a community. We have all the framework for this, and we have the schematics. Essentially, how we're going to do this is similar to what they did back then. By the way, they did ultimately end up getting some results. Is as a collective, we're going to um, design an entity, right? This is where we're gonna come up with if it's a male or a female. We're gonna come up with its age. We're gonna come up with its personal traits. We're gonna come up with things that maybe a trigger to. So, for example, if this entity was a fireman, right, then maybe a building that had a fire in it. Well, but we're going to do this together because we have to collectively create this character or this entity.
Mhm.
And then there will be some seance portions to this, but we're blending in equipment, certain measurements. There's a whole procedure, right? You will receive, for those who want to play at home, right? We're essentially going to have a seance in a box, really, and it'll have a personal effect from this entity, which may trigger something. And we
Mhm.
want independent, and this isn't going to be 1 day or 5 days.
Oh.
We're looking at 6, 7 months of people participating to see, and there will be some controls built in, some blind targets, if you will, things that we want to see in the end. If we can extrapolate all this data and find common points. So this entity may show up in Scotland, it may show up in New York, it may show up in California. Um, but to have some of the things like, it might be a little photo, right,
Mhm.
of this entity, which we can do now, right? We can create this character and then create
Mhm.
a little photo through AI and give it a
Mhm.
likeness and give it traits.
Mhm.
And this will steer the conversations and the questions that happen throughout the seances. At the same time, right, there's going to be a checklist of certain questions to ask, but we want you to add your own flair to this for those that play along at home.
Mhm.
Um, Certain data points we want to measure, EMF, um, maybe filming. You know, you need to retain the rights to the future country. Okay. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot that can come of this. So we have the outline, we have the framework. We have Bill working on some things. We had calls with Stacy. There's a lot of things that are going
Mhm.
into this, but this will be sort of a global experiment. In the end, our goal is to have everybody come together
Mhm.
throughout a day, sort of, and do what might it's not, but we'll call it like a world's largest sort of seance, right? Where we all go live throughout the day and we conduct the final one and we see what happens.
Mhm.
We may unleash hell. We don't know. Um, but there
That
are there are
it
going
hasn't
to
been
be,
unleashed already.
yeah, we are going to have some requirements on the character that we build, right?
Mhm.
We don't want to summon up the next Charles Manson. We just don't want to do that. So there will be some requirements. There's also pieces inside of this where we want to understand what you're bringing to it, and those parts will be voluntary, right? Like, there's questionnaires. What's your mood today? Anything bad happened to you this week? Are you in a good mood? Bad mood? There's a lot to understand. Those parts will be anonymous, but it'll be interesting to see.
Mhm.
You know, and Sarah and I have talked about this many, many times. What you bring to this, what your feelings end up extrapolating into our paranormal experiences. Does this dictate how we perceive them, or does it dictate how they happen?
But what I love about there's a couple things to this project itself that I think is important. Yes, the Philip experiment does tend to get the skeptics going, and that's okay. Um, Once again, what we need, and we will put these disclaimers on there. Couple things. Number one, we don't know. We are not telling you the Philip experiment is or isn't. We don't know. What we are trying to create, which so many of us talk about when we,
Oh,
as investigators, right? When we want to learn and hone in and practice skill sets. Hey, Denise. Um, going for a hot night on a weekend, isn't it just it? We need to dig in. And this particular project, being anywhere from 6 to 8 months, sort of turns this into an actual research project, right? This is going to have a lot of moving parts, a lot of different people. This brings in different practices, different beliefs, different techniques, different personality types, because it isn't just one size fits all. Life isn't, and either is death, right? Either is death, how we perceive it anyway. So, this project sort of brings us all together from all over the globe to talk about and share how we do things, how we seance, how we interpret that information, how we feel our religions and our beliefs and our practices sort of play into this. So, this is, yes, bring your magnifying glass, drunken. So, this really is an ongoing project with many different moving parts.
Oh, she froze.
Am I frozen still?
No, you're back now. Yeah,
Okay.
you always come back when you ask that question. It's hilarious. You're like, am I
Oh.
still frozen?
So I do. I think this is, yeah, it is. It's like choose your own adventure. I love that, Damien. It really is about, we all start with one project with one objective, but how we come to it and how it ends for us truly is choosing your own adventure. So I think this is a good eye-opening opportunity. Skeptics as well should be welcomed in
For
your
sure.
group.
Right? Because what this experiment in its simplest form is saying is that we as humans may be creating these paranormal experiences that we're having. Doesn't mean it's not paranormal. It could possibly mean that we're manifesting these things. So it's an interesting perspective on it. We've had people say, well, it could be a trickster, right, taking on this name, and it could be. We don't know. We're just not saying this is an answer. There's a little twist. There's a little twist at the end that we'll reveal later, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, skeptics are. Everybody should be a skeptic, and we've always said that. We say that at every single event. Always remain skeptical. But this thing, this project, right now, if we get similar results in various places, who knows what's truly happening here. But it will be part of certain events, and it will be something that we can do at home, and our Patreon subscribers will get their own version. We'll be doing things with them live. So there's some really cool things out there that could come of this, right? And worst case scenario is it brings people together. It gets people talking and discussing, sort of like what the first trifecta that we did, brought to the table, right? All the ghost hunting night that was supposed to happen that night turned into more intellectual type of conversations and theories, and that got us to planning on different ways to be approaching things.
Yeah, I think it's a real opportunity to listen to other voices that are in this project with you, and to understand the differences, but to also acknowledge the similarities. And that's probably where we're going to find the real results, right? We all come to things at a different point or a different way, but there's always that one thing in there that's like the common denominator that we kind of lose sight of because we're always pushing our perspective.
Correct.
Well, let's talk about it, and let's weed through some of those perspectives and find the similarities. That's what this is all about. So super excited to get that project started soon. What are you?
Yeah, Kent's
a little bit, but around the world.
Yeah, make me laugh. I played in a band for Hands Across America.
Yeah, we know. We're going to do another How Well Do You Know, Rob?
Just want to remind everybody. So get ready to see that. There will be ways to participate for free. There's ways to participate at events. There'll be ways to participate in which you can receive the kit that has everything you need to perhaps enhance, what you want to do at home. It's
Mhm.
going to be really cool.
It's going to be really cool. So keep your eyes open for Echoes of a Thought. What is next on the docket?
Look, as we are ramping up,
Freaky February.
I've got, look, I know I've got, I didn't know what else to call it. It's Freaky February, man. We've got lots of things to do for Paracons, lots of things to get caught up here, even on regular orders. All this shit's starting to happen this week. But you need to get on our list if you're thinking about teams, um, team shirts, right? If you're thinking about um, whatever, if you need merch done, now's the time to get on the list. We'll put a post out later with a link to at least get in the queue. Um, but yeah, throughout February we'll do this this sale. Let's see if you want to call it a sale. We'll do this discounted piece. So there you go.
That's so true, Denise. And maybe a cool part of this project would be to link up those that live inside these locations, and get your perspectives of the people doing this particular project in your location. It'd be I think a good indicator. I'm curious.
Yeah, Denise, and in the, I hate calling them instructions, but in the outline,
Yeah.
right, where there's some very pointed and specific questions that will help us determine if, maybe determine. I say that like it's definitive, but that will help us understand if maybe this is a thing. It may not work the first time, it may not work the second time, but and that's the way the Philip experiment went as well. Seems at least that once they adjusted the atmosphere and made it a little more spooky, they started to get more results. But it's an interesting read, and they've made movies. There are certain movies that were kind of based after it. But yeah, I mean, I think, Denise, I know your inhabitants, right? This might be something different. There might be ways to help us or help you actually identify the difference. Well, you'll see once you see the outline of things that we're talking about. But the Ditto House would be an awesome
Oh gosh, yeah.
place to do that.
It would. Hey guys, Thomas Bolger is here from Phantasm Paranormal Adventures. Did you hear? He's got his very first event going on, and he sold it out. So kudos and congratulations to you, Thomas and Doreen.
Not only did he sell it out, he sold it out in like 3 days. Like,
yeah, could you give us some tips?
Yeah, seriously, man.
Help us out,
his Masonic Lodge he put up, and he got that sucker sold out ASAP. So congrats to Thomas. I'm going to try to pop in on that if I can.
It's sold out. There's no tickets left for you.
I go where I want. Okay.
Bye, Denise. She's at work. She's having her lunch. But I know, like, you guys are in amazing hands with Thomas and Doreen for this investigation. So keep your eyes open on extremeticketing.com. That's extreme with an X.com. For any of his future events coming out. Because there's something about these Masonic temples, VFW lodges. A lot of people do investigations at these, and you think about the emotion and the conversations and the highs and the lows of these locations, and what does it do? What does it bring to the table? And hopefully Thomas will do another event and put some tickets up there. I believe this one's in Blairstown, New Jersey. I believe it's Blairstown.
I think so. Yeah.
So keep your eyes open on that. No, thank you, Thomas, for trusting your event on Extreme Ticketing. We are so excited. If you don't know, Phantasm Paranormal Adventures is also a Get Haunted Merc, so you will see them at some of our events, leading and hosting as well for us. They do a fan-freaking-tastic job, so thank you for that. What else did you want to talk about?
Well, we have some events coming up, right?
We do have some events coming up. Of course, our very first season opener kickoff to the 2025 season is at Red Men's Hall in Mount Holly, New Jersey. I think there's only a couple tickets left. This one is a unique event. It is Blairstown. All right, Blairstown, New Jersey. So Redmond's Hall in Mount Holly, New Jersey. This one's a different event. It's a little more intimate. It is a smaller location for us. So we're going to do a little bit more unique Get Haunted event for those of you coming in. But you also get to have a moment with the incredible Michael Castro to take some fantastic photos of you right there, because it is a photography studio as well. So to get some really cool photographs of yourself by Mike is just a perk. I can't even believe it's being offered, to be honest with you. Also, you can have some time with Danny Marie of Divination with Danny for some tarot. And I believe she's even got some tarot cards there for you. So you guys can perhaps do some cool divination right there in the location and see if you can get spirit to communicate that way as well. That's February 22nd. So keep your eyes open for the last few tickets there. March 1st, we have New Egypt Historical Museum. That is right there in New Egypt, New Jersey. That is become one of Get Haunted's most favorite location. It is a smaller, again, location, intimate, but this location is mighty in its experiences. Beginner decks for all who attend. That's how amazing Miss Danny of Divination with Danny is. She's got some beginner decks for all of you. So New Egypt, this one, I don't know. I have yet to attend New Egypt, but let me tell you something. People talk about this location and what it brings, and it's just getting creepier and creepier, I think, as
weird shit happens there.
Weird shit happens. So that one is March 1st. March 15th, brand new to Get Haunted, and not just the location itself, but the type of location. It's Broadwell Funeral Home in Felicity, Ohio. I mean, come on, a funeral home. And it's a little bit more, it's an older location. So something about about going into a funeral home and really understanding what does remain, what stories do remain inside there. That is March 15th. March 29th, we have Old Franklin County Jail. That's in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Again, a little bit more intimate, a great way to practice on some of those skill sets that you have and in that jail setting. Are you okay? He's over there.
Yeah, I just had to shift, and it freaking hurts, man.
And I think he said shift, not shit.
I should mute.
Of course, April 5th. That is our brand new that's somewhere where, I'm sorry, drunken threw me off. I know this is off topic, but what are you guys thinking about relish on hot dogs? Love it. No. It's got to be dill, though, for me. What about you, Rob? Sweet or dill?
Neither.
No really?
Yeah, I don't do it, bro.
Oh, you're weird. Dill for me.
I'm not weird.
You're weird. So Farnsworth.
Ketchup on hot dogs, which I know.
Yeah. Farnsworth, this is very, very historical and amazing location inside Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We are one of the first event companies to be able to come in there. Rooms are sold out. However, we have plenty of standing room tickets waiting for you to explore this location with us, on top of having an hour to get together in the tavern, enjoy some good food, talk, and then get right back into investigating.
So, but there's a couple things we got to talk about here. And Andy, just let me know if you're still here. And if I see you still, anyway, anybody that is coming for Saturday that has a room that was hoping to come down and do the Getting Around Gettysburg with Get Haunted hangout, whatever that was. What is it? What do we call that? Like a flash.
Well, just kidding. It's not a flat. Well, we're going to dance at every location. You would love to see him do that. Dance at every location. No, just getting around Gettysburg with Get Haunted. We're going to have at different times. We'll have a preset schedule. And whenever you find yourself in Gettysburg, you'll know at what time and where to find Get Haunted and join up with us and explore some amazing.
That to yourselves, because I don't want to, I don't want all my fans showing up, paparazzi and shit.
Yeah, well, they'll be there. Don't worry. We want to make sure. We want to make sure everybody knows where we're at every hour in Gettysburg.
Now, Farnsworth has a list of everybody that bought a room for Saturday. If you are looking to come down and want a room your same room, that room for Friday, you have to call them today. They have your name. They have the room you're in. They know who you are. You have to say, I am Danny from, I'm with the Get Haunted event on Saturday. I'm in room XYZ. And now I want that room for Friday. And it's blocked off right now for you. Sorry. But you
Yeah.
have to call today.
He's fun to watch, isn't he, when he's in pain?
Oh, it's like
it's been a fun couple days. So yeah, if you do have a room with us for Saturday, which is April 5th, please know if you are looking to come in the day before, and you don't even have to do the Get Around Gettysburg with Get Haunted. If you're just coming in the day, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but if you want to come in Friday, they are offering that same exact room for you. So you are set to go. I got to sneeze. Hold on. It's happening.
What's happening over?
I have to sneeze.
Oh God, don't do that.
Excuse me. That one was like taking its sweet ass time. So you can get that same room and then you're just set. You'll be there Friday. We'll hang out. We'll do some fun stuff. We'll have some great talks and then we can sleep in a little bit, maybe get some breakfast together and then get going for the day on Saturday. Who doesn't want that weekend? Bye, Thomas.
Yeah, it's going to be kick-ass. And for those, if you can't make a certain thing, we're might do a little scavenger hunt kind of thing. We got some cool ideas for Friday. So
we do.
Thank you, Thomas. But yeah, so get down there, and even if you don't feel like doing the Saturday night thing, come hang out with us Friday. There's no tickets. We're just going to be there.
Yeah. I got Damien. I hope it's a good surprise. That's all I have to say. So we have a lot of events coming up. Those are just the first few to get us started in 2025. Drunken, are you still here? Because let's talk about something a little scary. There he is. I know, doesn't it? Fun.
It is. I am Thomas Farnsworth.
I just assume it's a he. I think we've had this discussion before. So let's talk about something. Let's talk about some paranormal because that's really what we're all here for, right? We're not just here to look at Rob, right? We're here to talk about paranormal. So let's talk about this for a moment. I'm going to ask a question. Let's ask a question to the community first. First and foremost, who's all here with us, even though people are dropping off. Have you ever experienced a loss of time, either while investigating the paranormal or a loss of time and having a paranormal experience, not purposely, maybe you weren't out investigating, but something paranormal seemingly to happen around you at that time? Anybody have a loss of time? I want to ask because I had it's one of my favorite conversations with you, even though it's not a fun experience for you. Nice. Stacy has. I think these are the little things that a lot of people don't put a lot of weight on. We tend to take a lot of our cues from things we've seen on movies, from things we've watched on TV, perhaps, or maybe just heard some of our favorite paranormal people speak about. But hey, Kimberly. Oh, awesome. We can't wait to see you there.
Oh, yeah. Kimberly, I don't know if you got the announcement. We'll shoot an email out. But if you're staying Saturday, and I don't know if you are or not, but you guys want to come down and hang out with us Friday, rooms are blocked until you got to give them a call tonight. Anyway, that we'll put an email out to everybody.
Yeah, we'll get on that. But I think these are the little nuances that get missed a lot of times in paranormal. And I don't know that I think we're so busy filming content. We're so busy trying to capture evidence. We're so busy playing with equipment, right? We're just so busy that I don't think we're often in those moments. And I think some of these things are lost. Hey, Drunken. I was giving everybody an opportunity to answer the question. That's how this goes, drunken. It's called show hosting.
I want Drunken to come on. I really do. I want Drunken, like, wear a mask or something if you don't want us to know who you are.
All right, so let's have this. I want to share something. So loss of time, it's a very interesting thing. Rob and I have both shared that there are things about our childhood, definitely some loss of time we just have zero memories on. Many of us have this experience, but Rob, you had an experience at a location, and it's probably one of the most intriguing and scary because it's one of those moments. It's one of those moments where you realize just how not in control you may be while we're interacting with the other side.
Oh, and completely like vulnerable. This was my first really big scare, and I think it did lead to me taking a break from the paranormal, because I was like, I never wanted to experience that again. Do you want me to tell the story?
I do, because I let's really, I think if you can share this, I'm going to bullshit more.
Well, I'll speed it up a little bit. I'll leave out some of the things, but old Montana prison's a scary place to begin with. It's out in Deer Lodge, Montana, literally in the middle of nowhere. It's an old territorial prison. There's a lot of Native American things that happen there on that property. It's just cool. And there was a riot. There's a lot that happened. So, there was a night, and there's the hole, which is the dungeon. And to get down there, you have to go like into the men's showers and then down this flight of stairs. And that brings you down to a dungeon, older dungeon. And awesome, Danny. This family had come to us, and they were like, "Hey, will you take us back down to the hole?" This event used to go till about 7 a.m. It was late. It was a long one, and it's like, sure. So we took this family down to the hole to try to. Oh yes,
oh my gosh, Kimberly. Oh my gosh, the nicest couple. Do you remember them? I can see them. They were to my right.
Yeah. Aww. Now, that, and I got to preface this with this. This was the first place that I was there for the walkthrough, where we did the walkthrough of this place before we ever did events there. It just didn't feel really great, especially in the chapel. So anyway, I get this family down there. We had some big experiences, an experience that for years after the dad, there was a mom, a daughter, and the dad. The dad messaged me every year. We stayed in touch because he also couldn't understand what the hell happened. So I had the family in this one cell, and things went crazy. It was one of my first big visuals. It was crazy. I've never really had anything scare me that way. So we go, this experience happens, and whatever was creating this, right, left the room. Myself and the dad tried to follow it. We end up back upstairs outside of the shower, in the hallway, and to the left is that chapel. There's a video out there somewhere on my Facebook somewhere where on that very walkthrough, like there's a concrete cross in there, and there were flies. I thought these flies were dead, right? So I moved them with my finger, and they all just kind of came back. It was like horror movie stuff. There might have just been because they were cold, but the flies thing was weird, and we did hear my name that day. But anyway, talking to this family, we're trying to understand exactly what's happening, what just happened. And I'm like, it's in there. It's in the chapel. I know this thing's in the chapel. I know it. It went in there. I'm just like, so I'm telling this to the dad. Okay, awesome. So I'm like, let's go. So I walk into the chapel. Two other people come in the chapel with me, the dad and I thought the mom. And we make the right. We go down. It's nothing but old pews, right? And they go and sit in that first pew, and I went up to like where the pulpit would be with a podium, and I turned and looked at the back wall, which had another big cross on it. I was just looking at it, and I don't know why, for a couple minutes, right?
Yeah.
This is probably around. This was right around a little after 3:30 ish, something like that. And I just all of a sudden, the feeling came. It's like it is time to go. Like we have to go. We have to go. So I turn around to tell these two that we got to go. There's nobody. There's nobody sitting in the pews, and I am terrified. I'm like, where are they? Like, how can they not be here? So I make my way to the door, and if you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. There's it's like a long creep. It's like the worst scenario you could ever ask for.
Yeah.
So to get outside, I had to hook a left and go down, and then up a flight of stairs outside into the yard. So I trotted my ass down there. I just wanted out. Up the stairs, I go into the courtyard. In the middle of the courtyard is where we would park our vehicles, and and yeah, this was one of them, drunk. And so I get outside, and there's no vehicles, and there's no people, and there's no nothing, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm freaking out. So I like reach in my pocket to get my phone and my cigarettes. I need a cigarette at this point. And I look, and I just can't unlock. I can't get my cigarette lit. And then I'm looking at the phone. And I'm looking at the time. It wasn't like 2 minutes or 5 minutes. It was like 40 minutes or an hour. It was like 45 to an hour. It's not what time it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And where the fuck is everybody? Where are the cars? Where are the people? And I'm standing there and I'm going, oh, like I'm not even supposed to be here. And so I couldn't get my phone unlocked. I got my cigarette lit, and I was like, dude, you just got to relax. And I leaned up against the wall, and I was smoking a cigarette. And like, if they're here, they have to come back. And once you're calm, you'll be able to open up your phone. And a minute or two later, I see the headlights sweep across the back wall. So I'm like, okay, there's somebody. Like, I'm going to live. And the truck comes down, pulls up, and the lights are on me. And I can see everybody in the car, like, looking at me funny. They get out of the car, shut the lights off, and they're like, Rob? And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah. I went nuts because we never were to leave anybody alone, right? Especially if you don't know where they are.
Yeah.
So I'm yelling at them. They're like, da, 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 da. We're going back and forth, and they're like, we drove that family out to the front gate because it's a long ass walk and it was cold. And I'm like, but there were two of them were with me, and they're like, yeah, we saw. And one of them's like, yeah, you went in with. And then we were all trying. I'm like, were they the last people to sign out? They're like, yeah. And the one guy's like, oh, who went in there with you? And they're like, and by the way, you didn't look like you when you're leaning against the wall. They said it looked like I had a cowboy hat or some shit on. And we're all so perplexed. And we're like, who was that? There's no reason. We were like rechecking the list, I believe. This is a while ago. No idea who walked in that room with me. And it was later, because I've replayed this 1,000 times, and I have some other like crazy stories from this. not just that night, other nights, it dawned on me because I have replayed it in my head 100 times, maybe more. Like they never made a sound, not one. And then when you sit in those old pews, they're like, you know.
Yeah.
And it was, and that chapel is the very place that I've told you a guy that came out with us as a photographer never investigated again after one night there. I don't know what happened, but when you come out of this and realize that where's this time go and what happened during this time, and Drunk had talked about blackout drunk, and I can only assume I've never been there, like blackout drunk, but like if you come out of anything not knowing what happened to you or what you did or where you were or any of it, it is one of the biggest mind fucks you will ever experience. I know what I saw. I know two people walked in that room with me. And I know that when the real people left, that there were no other two. I would have heard them. And I know I stared at that wall for a good half hour, 40 minutes. I had no idea why. Like, so that rattled me. That absolutely rattled me. So to lose time like that, and I've had it happen since in one other location that we won't talk about.
So it's, I'm sitting here and, for Leanne, for her and Todd to have the same loss of time experience, right? That is intriguing. And I've often wondered, I don't have, to my knowledge, there is one time that I had, and I'm almost positive, a visitation from my mom. She passed in 97, and this would have been early 2000s, where I was really sick. I was really, really sick. What are you counting?
Years. Go ahead.
Oh, and I'd been up all night, like running back and forth to the bathroom. So I was sick. Had the shakes, couldn't calm my body down. And I was in a whole different, I had never been to this place before. It wasn't haunted, FYI. That's not what the situation was. Finally fell asleep after hours and hours of being up and shaking and stressed and tense. And I thought I was awake. My mom walked into the room and I was looking at everything in the room and we talked, but there was it was like everything around had been stopped, right? Everything just stopped. And it does make me wonder when we have these big, like for you to feel that two living people were with you, right? Like you thought you were walking in with two people.
Yeah.
That to me, where do we have to consciously be? Where do we physically need to be for these things to manifest like that? And is it a loss of time? Like look at like Leanne and Todd and your loss of time experience. What did anybody have a big experience in that loss of time? Did anybody talk about anything where you're like, okay, well, we were out of it for about an hour, so we don't, like, did you have to be disconnected for something to connect?
Yeah, I don't know. And the fact that other people saw these people walk in with me is like we literally walked through and tried to find if there were maybe people scaling walls and getting it. Like it's impossible, right? It's strange. And you reminded me, I've told you this story. It was probably around 2009, 2010, when I was driving to work. Every morning I'd stop and get my pork roll, egg and cheese and my coffee from our 2-hour drive to work, at my local gas station. And got out of the car. I'm walking up. Had to be 7:30, 7:45. This guy comes out and holds the door for me. It stops me. It stops me dead in my tracks. And I'm like, looking at him.
Mm.
It's my dad. It's my dad, right? Like, it's my dad who's dead. And I'm like, I'm just looking at him. He looks at me and smiles. I walk past him. He looks back and he walks off. Like, this really fucking happened. I go in, I'm rattled, right? And I'm like almost in tears. So I'm like, this is my dad's doppelganger. Like, this is insane. And he even smiled like him. Paid for my shit. I got to the car. I had to sit there, and I'm like, I called my ex-wife, and I'm like, you're not even gonna like believe this, right? I don't know why. I should have went back and got the security footage because it's a gas station. Hey, Christine Marie. I called her and I told her the story, and she's like, that's weird. Right. So I get off, I go on my way, I'm driving, and she called me back about like 20 minutes later, whatever it was, 20, 30 minutes. And she's like, hey, do you know what today is? And I was like, no. She's like, it's the day your dad died. Like, it was the anniversary of his death.
Oh.
And the only reason that I came to that was because you said it was like, so when your mom showed up, it was like everything else stopped, right? Because there were people pumping gas, there were cars, right? But none of that was happening.
It's like the world quiets.
Yes, everything like froze, right?
Yeah.
And I was just looking at him, and he's like, smiled, didn't say shit.
Yeah.
But it was real. The door was open. That person was real, and they walked out of the parking lot. It was fucking crazy.
See, and I have, when my dad passed, I had to fly from Michigan back to Texas. So my dad died the night before on a Sunday. I got on a plane Monday morning, got to his house. My sister had met me there, got to his house. There was no food. Unfortunately, my dad had been diagnosed with colon cancer, and he couldn't eat. And so he had no food in the house. He's a big steak dude, right? Steak and scotch. And I was like, I'm going to run up to Kroger. And I was in his car. My dad loved his cars. I was in his car, and I was driving. It wasn't Kroger. Can't remember the name of the grocery store. It doesn't matter. Albertsons. I was driving through the neighborhood, and I don't even know what made me look, because I'm driving in this neighborhood, and there's a church set like kind of in a weird corner. And it was up a ways, and I'm not good with yards, folks. So it could have been, for all I know, 1,000 yards. It could have been a block away. I don't know. I have zero measurement skills. So, but it was far enough away that you can't really, like, you can't make out somebody's, you wouldn't, I don't know. You can see them, but you wouldn't, whatever. So I just happened to look over, like, as I'm driving, I just happened to look over in the parking lot of the church. Is my dad looking at me up against a car like this and smiling? Yeah. And we locked eyes, and I'm just driving like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I swear to God. And like, when he looked at me holding the door open.
Yeah.
Like, I froze, and he's just looking like, is the craziest. And it was as real as real gets. Like, this wasn't spooky.
No. These aren't scary.
No, it's just, so what happened there, right? Did we just experience?
They could.
Yeah, but dude, like, I don't know, man. I hear you, and that's what I thought too.
But that moment, okay, I love this. So, okay, everybody has doppelganger. On these moments, the day of your dad's death anniversary, I'm home. The day, my dad passed, right? The day after my dad passed, I'm home. I'm in his car. I'm driving on that road, which was not my normal. First of all, it's not my normal grocery store that I would have. I grew up there. That's not the route I would have normally taken. I was just trying to get something in the house for us. So why was it at those times? Dude, there's the Canva freaking professional himself, Mr.
Yeah.
Michael Castro, folks.
He's
Michael
a
Castro.
Canva Pro. You can check out his Canva courses on udemy.com.
That's right. If you'd like to be proficient in the world of Canva, Michael Castro is your man. But even if it is your doppelganger, right? Like, isn't it interesting that at those moments you're connecting with that doppelganger that would even make sense? Like, and just so you know, I felt like when I was I didn't stop, by the way. I felt like that moment of rounding a corner and staring at a man up against a truck with his arms folded. I felt like I had my eyes off the road. It could have been a split second, but it felt like it was minutes.
Yeah.
Minutes.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. And no, drunken, we're not saying it's paranormal, but
no.
It really is freaking weird.
Yes, and I have thought that before. He had 3 daughters. Believe me, he probably was like, I'm done with this bullshit. And he's like, I'm probably living in Tahiti somewhere.
Now, with my dad, it's very possible, right? But because I don't do wakes or caskets. I just don't. So he could have put anybody up in his casket during it. I would have never known.
Well, I had to identify the body. So, I mean, unless he was a really good actor, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I did too. But again, they could all have been in on it. What if nursing homes or hospitals or hospice? Maybe that's just like some weird government thing. We could start a whole new conspiracy today.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like a Russian-owned, this is how you disappear, right? Start a new life.
Well, I just, I guess when we have these conversations, those moments of losing time, I think sometimes as investigators, we don't spend a lot of effort in what is the environment around us, what does need to happen, what does need to disconnect for something to connect. I don't think we spend a lot of time on that. And your story, and I want to have Rob on the show and do a proper interview about his time at the Montana prison, because that particular experience for you did take you out of the game for a while. Yeah. Also took the cameraman out of the game for a while.
A couple months. So that guy still, well, at least last time I saw him, which was, can you make Mike feel better?
Oh my God, he doesn't use Canva. I'm the Canva user. I'm the amateur. He is the professional. He probably uses some beautiful.
He uses Photoshop, Illustrator. He uses the Adobe Suite. Okay.
There you go. Mike, we all know Dangerous Design is the professional place to go. I am the Canva user. Mike, you do beautiful work. And you know what? I get shit from you guys all the time. You can take it. All right, baby boy?
He can handle it. He can handle it. Oh, I'm going to call him later. That dude left the paranormal after the bigger experience we had later down the road. That one scared me too. There's something, and I've been telling you since the beginning, right? We need to get out there. It's just such a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah.
Because it's far. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a really cool place if you guys ever get the.
He's not going to forget.
Mike's in a mode today. That's why I haven't spoken to him yet.
He's a little spicy today.
He's spicy.
Well, I think I would love to have a show on time loss and to have some theories that we can place behind that. And Leanne and Todd would be great guests to have on along with yours. So if you are somebody that has experienced time loss, Damien, honestly, even with the sleepwalking, it's like saying you can never get evidence or interaction on a piece of equipment. You can't say 100% that you do or you don't. There may be those times, and sleepwalking could be one of those situations where not 100% of the time is it just something that's sleepwalking. It could be something else that's happening that's a little bit more on the paranormal realm.
What's wrong?
It sounded like somebody it's the
She's frozen.
Radiators. I have a 100-year-old house. The radiators aren't. I don't know. Something just knocked, but not radiator knock. The heat's not on right now. Like it hasn't kicked on. I don't know. We're freaking me out. I'm talking about time loss here.
Well, shit. You look exactly like Steve-O from Jackass.
Why can I believe that? Why do I feel like with his jokes he could look like Steve-O?
Wade, how are
Hey,
you?
baby, how are you doing, sweetheart? We hope you're doing just fine. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this would be a great topic. Again, it's about understanding, right? Yeah, right. We're manifesting it all right now, but it is about understanding what is going on around us and what we're
Yeah.
contributing. And those are the conversations that I love having because, yes, you want to hear some scary stories here and there, but don't you want to pull it apart and figure out, like, Leanne, I would love to be able to talk to you for everything that you can remember, right? What you can remember from those, like, talk about what you were feeling, what was surrounding you. You always, when you tell the story, Rob, you always go into the silence. Like, were you in a vacuum at that
Yes.
moment?
It was frightening. It was frightening. Like, I was rattled. And maybe I can get the photographer guy, the videographer to come to, because not only did it affect him that day, like, I thought this guy was getting arrested on the flights out of there, right? Like, he's one of the nicest people on the planet, but he was like starting fights with TSA. Hey, Al, how are you, man? He was starting fights with TSA. Like, he was just angry, and it was not the person that he was just the day before. And those stories are big. Like, those were some big experiences. That place, especially in the maximum security wing, really.
You should be worried about that drunken. Don't go to prison. Oh no. If you guys don't know, Al is from Seeking Ghosts with Al and Leah. They have a great YouTube channel that you can go check out. They do some amazing video work and investigations. And sorry to hear that you're sick. We hope that the ick has just been going around, Al. The ick has been going around for a few months. Would you consider hypnosis, Rob? Like, how do you feel about something like hypnosis?
What's hypnosis?
Would you consider hypnosis? How do you feel about it?
Would I go under?
Yeah, like, how do you feel about it?
I think I tried once, right? It fascinates me, right? I have a hard time believing it sometimes when I watch it, like when they're like, and then somebody's just slumped over. I'm like, how's that freaking possible? I don't know. I'm not sure everybody is susceptible, able or capable of being hypnotized, but I would try it for sure. No.
It's finding that right one that doesn't lead you. That's the scary part about hypnosis, is that there have been situations, right, where you are sort of led to some memories that might not belong to you, or
that's scary to me.
That's a little unnerving, I think.
Yeah, like, I've watched some, documentaries on, like, abductees.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can tell when those questions, when they're being led, but also know I see stupid shit when I'm under anesthesia. So who knows what would happen?
Is there a difference in hypnosis, a part life examination? Is there a difference?
I think he means past life.
Oh, a past life. Well, I do think there is a little bit of a I think there's I think that's a really fine line, right, Wade? And I think that's a whole, from past life, like, that's a whole nother conversation to dig into, great topics, I think, to be able to, this is what I love about you guys, you throw something out and how it evolves. Stacy's saying the more emotional a person is, the more susceptible you are. So, it'd be interesting about that. I'm not always, I think I emote just fine, but I think Rob is definitely more the emotional person versus me. So it'd be interesting to see. All right. But I would think it would be interesting to see our how we do differ in hypnosis. That would be an interesting take. It can have side effects. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, I don't know. It is all very interesting. I think the past life situation and memories and what they know so much now about memories and consciousness, this just keeps evolving. It's why I say over and over and over again that I do not die on any hill with this stuff, because we are all unlocking new drawers and doors to what could be. And my mind can be changed. I could feel one way about something right now, and 5 minutes from now I might go, you know what, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. You need to trust exactly the person who is handling your memories and your own.
If Danny's still watching, Danny, here they are. We were looking for these scissors.
She's been silent, so she's either quietly watching. But so yeah, the little paranormal talk to add to your day. So think about that. Time loss in the paranormal. What needs to disconnect to connect? Let's have these. She said you found them. Yay. Very off topic again, but is a hamburger a sandwich?
It is. It is. If a ham and cheese is a sandwich, then a hamburger is a sandwich. It's just a warmer sandwich.
I don't really give a shit what it is as long as I get it.
I know. I kind of want a hamburger now.
I know. I want a big old delicious double cheeseburger.
Danny made them.
Yeah, she totally is. Totally is. So that's what we got going on. We've got the upcoming The Convent, Get Inked, Flash Tattoo, and Investigation at the Convent in New Jersey. We also have Echoes of a Thought that will be started, which is a worldwide, global 6 to 8 month project to be worked on with so many different people. We're really looking forward to that. We have many events, February 22nd popping up here. We're super excited to get this all started with you, the 2025 season, and investigating and learning new locations, new techniques, new theories, and new friends and family. That's what Get Haunted in 2025 is all about. Folks, what do we have going on tonight for shows? I believe what we have going on tonight is Ghost Box Radio with Greg Bakken at 11:05 Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to catch that. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. No, I was just catching up. I want to say Al and Leah sent me from Seeking Ghosts with it. A&L. There's a video he sent over, or Leah sent over. Mm-hmm. And it shows, and I'm not going to say the place out. I honestly don't even know the name. But, you see Leah going off this way, and you see this freaking figure in the background kind of go like whoop around the.
Is this Axeman?
Huh?
Is this where she says Axeman was with us? I don't know why that video and the look on her face freaks me out, but I think, Al, if you're still there, is this Axeman? There's something in the look on her face.
Yeah, I don't know if she noticed this. I see it clear as day, and you can see it go from inside of the room and sort of like out through the door frame, and then it's ridiculous. And I think some people are saying, think it might be a shadow, but it's not. I can tell you with almost certainty that I don't think it's her shadow. It's really cool. So Al, I've pretty much been in bed since Monday trying to get my strength back to be able to sit up here today. Was not easy, but yeah, I'll take a look at it tonight probably. I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
It's okay. It's all right. I was just sort of recapping. Our residents.
Yeah, it's dust, Mike. I'm going to fight Mike today.
All right. Well, with that, folks, we've kept you for an hour, almost an hour and a half. Thank you so much for joining us this midweek. We have missed you. We are well on our way to getting started for the 2025 season. Lots coming up. Paracons, the main Paracon, folks. Do not forget September 6th and 7th is the main paranormal and horror Con right there in Augusta, Maine. So you can go to the Mike, if you don't mind throwing that website there on the
Main
side.
Para Horror Con.
Okay, well, if somebody could just throw that up,
I
that would
think
be
I already
great.
have it.
Okay.
Like a banner, dude.
Again, the Fireland Paracon in Sandusky, which is April 12th. Please look out for, and there's a website for that one as well. But please look for that on the network. And also, if you are interested and you feel drawn to add your voice to the video that we would like to get made for the Fireland cause, which is domestic violence and sexual assault, for the Safe Harbor and also Care and Share of Erie County. Please reach out to Jen Jacobs and let her know that you would like to lend your voice. 10 seconds, 10, 20 seconds is all we're going to need, a snippet. It's important that the community realizes who's there in support and ready to help where they can. Also, of course, October 4th is the Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo right there at Rock Island Roadhouse in Rock Island, Illinois. You're going to want to check that out as well. We got lots going on, folks. So just keep your eyes on the network page for all things paranormal. If you have an event, if you have an investigation, if you have merchandise and or equipment, and you would like to share that with the community, please go check out the Get Haunted Network public page. Share, share, share. That's what it's about. The community needs to know what is out there. Do you have a tattoo that you could remove? I do. There's one I want gone, but
this whole arm was done and then redone. Yeah, I've removed a lot. And it sucks and it hurts. When do you get rid of that? We'll talk about
well, the ones that I got when I was 21, there's one that I would like, the one that I got conned into doing because my sister's like, does it hurt? And then I said, no, look it, I'll do it. And then she's like, never mind. And I was like, okay, it wasn't even a well thought out one. So that one I wouldn't mind.
The one with the dolphin smoking a joint?
Yeah. The big marijuana leaf behind him. I just, I was young and dumb.
The cat saying, hang in there.
It's Ziggy. It's just Ziggy on my ass cheek. I think I'm ready for him to go. I don't know. Anyways, with that, thank you so much for your time, for your efforts. Thank you for being the good in the community. As always, thank you. We see you. We appreciate you and we love you. Thank you for being the good in the community. Go out there, do something kind, lift somebody you wouldn't normally lift, share, and simply don't be a dick. That's all I'm going to say. And with that, I'm ready to eat. I'm hungry.
I know I'm starving, man.
I have a 3-inch tall Asian guy on my chest. Mike. You just never know.
I have a dragon on my chest.
Mike, if I made an image on Canva, would you get it tattooed on somewhere on your body?
See my dragon tail?
Enough with your dragon tail.
There's his wing.
Oh my. Okay. Well,
I get that taken off. I hate that.
He reminds you. Anyways, Rob's got a call with Mike that he cannot forget. I got to get some food in me. And with that, it is a great Wednesday. Go have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week, and we will see. Mike, I'm going to take that yes as a yes. You will get that tattoo. I'm creating something for you on Canva this afternoon. With that, we love you. Go have a great day. We will talk to you later.